close our border back up, make America great again like he did before.
You support Ron DeSantis? What do you think of him?
Who's that?
Ron DeSantis is the governor of Florida.
Oh, the one deporting? Yeah, I'll vote for him.
You know that he took the migrants from Texas and he flew them to Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts. You like that?
I was thinking of that months before they did it. And they did it. And I'm glad they did.
I applaud him for doing that because if Florida and Texas and all the other southern countries and southern borders and everything, if they're getting inundated with migrants coming from other countries, might as well share the wealth.
They should put them at the White House, drop them not on the side road, right there at the White House, because they got, 200 rooms in there? They got plenty of room to...
So just put the migrants in the White House.
No, send them back.
What's so bad about the migrants?
Cartel, drugs, fentanyl coming in. And Biden's put us in hell.
It aggravates me that they come into the country, they don't have any shots, they're just flying over, they don't check them for anything, and as American citizens, everybody in the country had to get a shot for the coronavirus.
Did you get a COVID vaccine?
One.
You didn't get the booster.
No.
But I thought it's a problem that people don't get their shots.
Well, I'm okay. Everybody I'm around all the time, they're okay. So obviously I don't have it. Otherwise, you're going to get sick.
Well, what about the immigrants then who are coming in without their shots? And if they're okay, shouldn't we just let them do their thing?
We don't know. They didn't get any shots at all. They weren't checked to see if they had any diseases or illnesses from the countries they came from, Venezuela, Spain.
If Donald Trump doesn't run, you like DeSantis?
I love DeSantis.
How come? What about DeSantis?
He cares about us. First thing that's most important is our country, not sending money to other countries.
He sent those migrants from Texas to Martha's Vineyard.
I loved it. I've
Why?
been there.
You've been to Martha's Vineyard?
Yes, I have.
It's a nice place to go.
Yes, it is. And I wish they had stayed there because it's a sanctuary city and they're supposed to welcome everybody.
Look at the border. I mean, we have no border down there. Everybody's just streaming in here and all their money is going towards them. It's not good.
I hope they do more and more.
You want all the migrants taken to Martha's Vineyard?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because there's something bad about the migrants.
They don't belong here. They haven't come here legally. It's against the law. I mean, we don't have any laws anymore.
What about the documents, though, that he took with him to Mar-a-Lago, the classified documents, the nuclear secrets? Why would he do that?
I think whatever he had there, he had the right to take. He's not a stupid man. He wouldn't leave them there. I mean, out, you know what I mean? Like.
And he did a lot for the 4 years he was in there, and everybody was against him and plotted against him the whole time, and he got a lot done.
What was your favorite thing that he did?
The border.
Closing the border is important.
Yeah. And on the news today, they said they nixed that idea. Said he messed up the border, and it's not true at all. They're lying through their teeth.
Well, weren't there some portions of the border that he never finished?
That wasn't his fault. He didn't have time to finish it.
Hey, TikTokers, there's something serious going on in this world. It's down on our southern border. We are getting invaded right now by 138 countries.
138? We don't even have 50 countries south of our border.
They're opening prisons in all the countries around the world, and they're sending all of them across our southern border. Joe Biden is letting our country get invaded right now. 200 years ago, if it was happening, our military would have been on our southern border killing those. Biden is letting them come across on purpose, ruining this country. He thinks when them damn migrants come across, they all gonna vote Democrat. They tearing this country to hell and back.
We get it, you're racist. But dude, you gotta give us some substance, right?
They bring in fentanyl, human smuggling, weapons. They're doing everything they can to ruin this damn country. We are getting invaded. 200 years ago, we'd have had our army down on our southern border killing those. We have no borders no more. Biden is running this damn country. It's time to stand up and do something about it. Send the military down there and let them mow the down. We are in a war right now.
Mow them down? I'm sure this guy also considers himself pro-life. Any evidence to back up those claims? Or are you just mindlessly repeating talking points?
What's the most important issue right now for you in the country?
The economy and the border.
And why are those your top issues?
Because with the border, we have all these illegals coming in, bringing in drugs, killing our people, and it's disgusting. They're bringing a lot of crime and robberies and just killing our people.
Now it's exhausting confronting these MAGA morons about their disinformation and fear about the border. So that's why I've come up with this list of 4 things that you can tell your MAGA coworker, neighbor, friend, family member about the border when they confront you with that misinformation. Who knows, maybe you can even use it at Thanksgiving. Or don't. The first thing to know is that Biden's border policy is just as restrictive, or even arguably more restrictive, than Donald Trump's border policy. So after the expiration of Title 42 in May, the Joe Biden administration decided to impose a new rule called the Circumvention of Lawful Pathways, which will deny anyone, any undocumented immigrant, from seeking asylum unless they meet 3 qualifications, at least one of those 3 qualifications. And those 3 include, they must either have already been processed and authorized by the Department of Homeland Security, they must have either used the CBP-1 app to schedule an appointment and a place to present themselves at a lawful point of entry, or they must have already been denied asylum in a third country that they were passing through en route to the United States. If you do not have one of those 3, then you are denied, deported, and you are not going to be let into the country. Meaning the border is not open and that you do not have 138 countries invading the southern border. We only even have 33 countries south of the United States. Now, the second thing is that undocumented immigrants aren't smuggling in fentanyl, or if they are, it's only a very small group of them. Research compiled from the Cato Institute, a right-leaning think tank, proves that 86.3% of all convicted fentanyl drug traffickers were U.S. citizens. U.S. citizens, which is 10 times greater than the undocumented immigrants. And that also 90% of all fentanyl seizures happen at legal points of entry through a car search, an illicit car search. Meaning that it's not undocumented immigrants, it's not a Mexican man with a backpack that has fentanyl just crossing the border. That's not a thing. And this is from a right-leaning institute. And then also, lastly, 99% of all fentanyl smuggling, all of that is funded by U.S. citizens. You want to blame someone for fentanyl? Blame U.S. citizens. Third, undocumented immigrants who want to move to this country are often waiting years and years just to get a court hearing. On average, immigrants have to wait 58 months, which is 5 years, some having to wait 10 years just to get a court date in front of a judge to ask about their legal status. And these are people fleeing violence, fleeing instability from their countries. So how can you blame them when they're just trying to provide for their families and provide a livelihood? Yet people like that dude earlier wanted to mow them down. These people are being failed by the system. The system isn't broken. It's barely even there. And lastly, immigrants built this country, and we're all living on stolen land from the Native Americans. All white people have an immigration story, whether you were a colonizer for coming to America for new rebirth, religious freedom, and to establish a livelihood, or you were an immigrant that decided to come over maybe in the 20s through Ellis Island. My point is, as soon as the immigrants started being predominantly brown or people of color, all of a sudden a whole bunch of white people were like, no, you can't come in. So seriously, your racism has no place because immigrants were the ones that built this country. And white people, I encourage you to find your immigration story. I have found mine. So the next time that your MAGA coworker, friend, family member, neighbor starts spouting off about, oh my God, the border, they're pouring over the border, literally just say those few things, that fentanyl is being trafficked in by U.S. citizens at legal points points of entry, that undocumented immigrants are having to wait 5 to 10 years in front of a judge in order just to get a hearing, and that Biden's border policy is arguably even more restrictive than Donald Trump's border policy, Title 42. And maybe, just maybe, providing that evidence and information will get them to change their mind, or at least plant a seed for them to cultivate that knowledge later on.